Good day and welcome to Goodman Ielts Academy once again. My name is Babatunde Olatunde David Olanina aka Boardman. Today I'll be teaching you fill in the gap without options. Fill in the gap without option. As you all know my teaching method, I like to show you what is filling the gap without option. Fill in the gap without option. That means we have a fill in the gap question that doesn't have options to pick from. So if you have fill in the gap without option, that means there are questions that will be filling the gap with options. Today, I'm not going to that. I'm going to fill in the gap without options. Fill in the gap without options and see how the question look like. So when you see a fill in the gap without question, you should be able to recognize it. First, there will be gaps. The question will have gaps. So that is one way to recognize any fill in the gap. The question we have gap. So fill in the gap without option, we have gap. The second way of recognizing fill in the gap without option is that it will have a word instruction. What do I mean by word instruction? The instruction will say one word only, just like this, or not more than two words, or one word and or a number. That is the instruction they want you to follow. For example, I will still teach that as a separate topic because some people they don't know the meaning of this instruction. They don't know how to write answers, especially when the instruction says two word and or a number. Some people don't understand the meaning of those things. I will explain it as a separate topic, understanding word instructions. Just know that when you see filling the gap without option, you will have this kind of instructions and you will have gaps. However, there are some questions that I have seen. They are just like sentences. They have these instructions, but they don't have gaps. They have this kind of instruction, but they don't have gap. So if you see any question like that in Ielts, use the method I will be teaching you today to answer that question. The question will obey the rule of filling the gap without options. I will show you a question like that later. I will show you a question like that later. Now, how will you approach a filling the gap without options? If you are my student and you have been following my class, I don't pardon my students for if they miss a question in filling the gap without option. I expect you to get everything. Any question you may come across under filling the gap without option, you must get everything. It's a must. Because I see it as one of the most simplest questions in Ielts academic. So if you follow my tips very well, any question you come across, you must be able to score everything. You must be able to score everything. See, there is nothing you meet in the Ielts exam that will be outside everything I'm teaching you. You won't see anything different. Everything I'm teaching you is what you're going to see in the real Ielts exam. Now, what is the first step when you want to approach filling the gaps without option? The first thing is for you to read the instruction and understand what the instruction is telling you. That is the first step. This question now, I will tell you where this passage is. If you go to Cambridge 15, if you don't have it, go and download it. Cambridge 15, reading test 1, reading passage 1. You will see the passage there, nutmeg, a valuable spice. Nutmeg, a valuable spice. That is where the question is, Cambridge 15. Now, the first step, read, understand the instruction. The instruction says, choose one word only. Now, looking at the question, we know that this is filling the gap without option because we have gaps and there is word instruction there. The instruction says one word only. What is the meaning of this instruction? The meaning is your answer must not be more than one word, only one word. If you write two words, you are wrong. If you write a word and a number, you are wrong. For example, if you write something like uh 3,000 naira, 3,000 then naira in word, you are wrong because your answer cannot contain a number. The instruction say one word only, a word only. That is what this instruction is saying. That is the number one step. The second step, I'll be giving you some tips as well, and I want you to pay special attention to those tips. The second step is pick your keyword from the around the first gap. Pick your keyword from around the first gap and the title. So when you want to pick your keyword for the first question under filling the gap without option, you pick your keyword from the title and around the first gap. What do I mean? You can see most filling the gap without option, they used to have title. If you look at this one now, this one, the question has a title, the nutmeg tree and fruit. Don't forget, we didn't read the passage. You don't have to read the passage. Just go straight to the question. If you have been following my classes, you know that I told you not to bother about the passage at first. Just go straight to the question. Now, this question has a title. Some question will not have title. Don't worry about that. Just pick your keyword from around the first gap. What do I mean by around the first gap? Before and after the first gap. You know, filling the gap is like an incomplete sentence. They just put a gap. That means there's something missing. So pick your keyword from around it, around that gap. Now, the nutmeg tree and fruit. So the title is nutmeg tree, fruit. So nutmeg tree will be my keyword, fruit. The leaves of the tree are dashed in shape. So nutmeg tree, fruit, leaves, the leaves, shape. Those are my keywords. Nutmeg tree, fruit, leaves, and the shape. Anywhere I see those keywords, my answer will be around that place in the passage. Now, if you look at, always pay attention to punctuation marks in filling the gap questions. In this question now, these questions are like bullets. Some filling the gap are not like bullets, but there are punctuation marks in they will just be like a short passage, but there will be punctuation marks. Always pay attention. You know the meaning of full stop, comma, and so full stop means the end of that sentence. In this question now, the first question, the end of the sentence is after the shape, because that is the first bullet. It's not the second bullet is not a continuation of it. The leaves of the tree are dashed in shape, full stop. Now, I told you, don't forget, read the instruction, understand the instruction. Pick your keyword from the title and around the first gap. Now, my first tip, pay attention to my tip. The first tip I will give you in filling the gap without option is you should be able to predict your answer. You should be able to predict what your answer will be to some extent. How will you predict your answer? The question will describe the answer you are looking for in the passage. The question will stylishly describe it. Now, let us see how to predict answer using this question. The leaves of the tree. Which tree? The nutmeg tree. Don't forget, you pick the nutmeg tree from the title of the question. The leaves of the tree are dashed in shape. Question 1. This question is asking you, is asking about the shape of the leaves. The leaves of the tree are dashed in shape. This question is saying the leaves of the nutmeg tree are, so the question is talking about the shape of the leaf. That means when we go to the passage now, what we are looking for is the shape of the leaf. Nothing more, nothing less. So anywhere we see leaf, we should look for the shape. The passage talk about the shape. The shape will always be there. Anything that is not in the passage, the question will not ask you in filling the gap with that option. Now, the leaves of the tree are dash in shape. The question is not asking you about the shape of the tree, about the shape of the fruit. Nothing concerns you. It's asking you about the leaves. Now, let us go and skim the passage. Don't forget your keyword. Skimming means tracing the passage to see where you will find your keyword. I've discussed that previously. So if you have not listened to my previous videos, go and listen to them. Now, let us go and skim the passage and see where we will find our keywords. So if you start tracing the passage very fast, having those keywords that you picked in mind, if you skim, you will see that most of your keywords are in first paragraph. Now, don't forget, your keywords can be anywhere. They may not be in the first paragraph. They may be in the last paragraph. They may be in the second to the last paragraph. They may be in the middle of the passage. It could be anywhere. So don't trace at the end of the two paragraphs. That doesn't mean you are not seeing your keyword. No, it could be anywhere. It could be towards the end. Now, but if you look at the first paragraph here, I could see most of the keyword. That is skimming. You are not reading, you are just tracing. Anywhere, any area you find like 3 or 4 of your keyword, that is where your answer will be in the passage. Now, I will now scan that place. Scanning means reading that place very fast. I want to have an idea whether that area is talking about the shape of the leaf. So if I quickly read that place, the tree is thickly brown with a dense village of dark green over leaves and produce small yellow shaped flower and yellow pear shaped fruit. Now, I could see that area talks about leaves and other things and the shapes. I will now calm down a bit and read slowly to pick the shape of the leaf. Now, if I read it gently, the tree is thickly branched with dense foliage of tough dark green oval leaves and produces small yellow bell-shaped flowers. I'm not interested in flowers. I'm interested in the leaf. And you see, the passage says dark green oval leaves. The passage talk about the color of the leaves. I am not interested in the color of the leaf. I am not interested in the dark green. The passage says dark green oval leaves. I'm interested in the shape. Oval. That is according to my best prediction, the answer is over because the passage already told me what I am looking. The question told me what I am looking for, the shape of the leaf. Now, when you pick any answer and fill in the gap with that option, don't assume that that answer is automatically right. You may be wrong. There are some checks you need to perform on your answer. The first thing is your answer must conform with the instruction. The instructions say one word only. Is your answer one word? Yes, this answer is one word. We got one word. So that is one check. The last check, which I like everyone to do before you write down your answer, is when you insert your final answer into the gap, when you read the sentence together, it must make sense. What do I mean by make sense? It must be grammatically correct. So let us insert the oval into the gap. The leaves of the tree are oval in shape. The leaves of the tree are oval in shape. Can you see it's grammatically correct? There are some answers you will pick. If you put it in the gap and you read it, you yourself will know that this does not make any sense. That answer can never be correct. The leaves of the tree are oval in shape. I am very sure, 100% sure that this answer is correct. I will write it down in my answer script. That is the first question. And I gave you my first tip. Don't forget my tip. You should be able to predict your answer to some extent. Now, let us use the same step for the next question, which is question 2. My second tip, answer follows in filling the gap without option. Or filling the gap, answer follows. Answer follows. Your answer will follow each other. This means that when the answer to the next question will be after where I found the answer to the last questions, or almost around the same place. It's always after. Even if the question disobey this rule, some question can disobey the rule and they will be slightly before where you find the last answer, but not all time. One question can do that. Others will not do that. Others will obey the rule, but you will still find it around the same place. Answer follows in filling the gap without option. Let us look at this and see whether answer will follow or not. Don't forget the steps. The first step, pick your keyword from around the gap. The next question now, the dash surrounds the fruit. The dash surrounds the fruit and breaks open when the fruit is ripe. The dash surround the fruit and break open when the fruit is ripe. If you look at this question very well, you want to pick your keyword. The dash surrounds the fruit, keyword. Breaks open, keyword. When the fruit is ripe, keyword. Now, don't forget my first tip. You should be able to predict your answer. The question will describe the answer you are looking for. Let us predict our answer. The question says the dash surround the fruit. We are looking, the thing we are looking for, the question says it surrounds the fruit. So we are looking for where the passage will say so thing surrounds the fruit. So if the passage can tell us, oh, this thing surrounds the fruit, we know that that thing may be the answer. Because that is what the question is asking us. The dash surrounds the fruit. But the question did not stop there. The dash surrounds the fruit and breaks open when the fruit is ripe. That thing you are suspecting in the passage, let's say the passage says, oh, Boardman surrounds the fruit. Boardman surrounds the fruit. So most likely Boardman will be the answer. However, the question says, and breaks open when the fruit is ripe. The passage must also say, Boardman breaks open when the fruit is ripe. If the passage did not say that particular thing you pick breaks open when the fruit is ripe, that is not the answer. So let us assume that the passage mentioned two things. Boardman and a cage surround the fruit. Boardman surround the fruit, and then a cage also surround the fruit. But the cage break open when the fruit is ripe. Automatically, Boardman will not be the answer. The cage will be the answer because it is this description from the question fits the cage. The cage surrounds the fruit and breaks open when the fruit is ripe. So because the passage says it breaks open, then that will be the answer. Because that description. So the passage does say Boardman surround the fruit. The passage did not say Boardman breaks open. You should be able to predict your answer to some extent. Now, let us look at the passage. Don't forget, answer follows. Answer follows. Let us start from where we pick our keyword. Dash, surround the fruit, breaks open, and fruit is ripe, ripe. Let us look at our keyword. I will start from where we pick our last answer, and I can see fruit, I can see ripe, I can see just immediately after we pick our line. I'm just seeing them. I've not been able to read them. Now let us skim. Is this place talking about something that surrounds the fruit? If it's talking about something that surrounds the fruit, we will now wait. So scanning is the next. After skimming, we have skimmed, looking at it. Sometimes I don't even need to trace. I can see very fast when I'm skimming. Keyword, I just have to have those keywords in my head and skim. Anywhere I find them, I quickly scan. Now, let me scan now. So if I start from the leaf, produce small yellow bell-shaped flower and yellow pear-shaped fruit. The fruit is encased in a fleshy husk. When the fruit is ripe, this all split into as you can see that place is talking about what the question says. Let us now calm down and read it. That is focused reading. Will this passage say, so things surround the fruit and breaks open when the fruit is ripe? Let us read it. So if you look at it, you will always read from where you will understand it. Yellow bell-shaped flowers and pale yellow pear-shaped fruit. I'm not interested in the shape of the fruit. Now, the fruit is encased in a fleshy husk. Encased. The question says, the dash surrounds the fruit. Encased is synonymous to surround. If you go back to my first lecture, I taught you something about synonym. In our heads, you must have an eye for synonym. So the encased is the same thing as surrounds, but that does not make it our answer yet. Don't forget, you have predicted your answer. The question says that thing break open when the fruit is ripe. Now we are suspecting that the answer is husk, fleshy husk. The fruit is encased in a fleshy husk. That means fleshy husk surrounds the fruit. We are thinking that will be our answer, but we need to be sure. Let us read further. Will this passage say this husk break open? When the fruit is ripe, this husk splits into two halves. Split is the same thing as break open. This husk split into two halves along the ridge running the length of the fruit. Inside the pomegranate seed, we are not interested in that. Can you see? The passage told you that the husk break into two halves. That means our answer is husk. Let us even assume that I pick fleshy husk. Fleshy husk. That means the husk is fleshy. And I want to write that. First of all, I will think about when you pick any answer like that, you need to check it. Does it conform with the instruction? The instruction says one word only. So automatically, I cannot pick fleshy. I will pick husk. For example, let us say the answer you got is tall buildings. Tall buildings. The main answer is building. The tall is just an adjective describing how the building look like. So in order to conform with the instruction, you will just write buildings. In this case, the answer will be husk. That is the first check. When you pick any answer, don't assume that answer. You need to check it. Does it conform with the instruction? Here, we are shortening our answer to husk. Let us assume that the instruction is not more than 2 words. You can write fleshy husk. Now, but you must perform the second check. What is the second check? Second check. Any answer you pick must pass the 2 tests. The first test, it must conform with the instruction. We are picking ask, one word only. Instructions is one word only. Of ask is one word. It conforms with that instruction. The second check, when you insert your answer into the gap, it must make sense. Now, let us insert it into the gap. The dash surrounds the fruit and breaks open when the fruit is ripe. The dash, the husk surrounds the fruit and breaks open. You can see it's grammatically correct. It makes sense. That makes husk our answer. I hope this is very clear. I hope this is very clear. So, that is how to answer questions on filling the gap without options. So if you are watching this video, I want you to solve the remaining two questions using these tips. And I believe you will get it. But before I go, I will give you an hint to them. I will give a clear explanation of the next question. Don't forget my tips. Don't forget my tips. Answer follows. You must be able to predict your answer before you even start looking for your answer at all. The question will describe your answer. And your answer must conform with the instruction. And then when you insert it into the gap, it must make sense when you insert it into the gap. So if you go to the next question, the dash is used to produce the spice nutmeg. The dash is used to produce the spice nutmeg. This question is asking you, what is used to produce spice nutmeg? The passage will tell you something that is used to produce spice. So if you want to look for this answer now, you know you will start from where we pick the last answer. And then if you go to the next question, the covering known as the aril is used to produce dash. The passage will tell you the covering aril used to produce dash. The passage will tell you what aril is used to produce. The passage will tell you what aril is used to produce. So that is that about filling the gap without options. However, there are some other questions that are very similar to filling the gap without options. And I will be treating all of them one by one so that when you see them, you will be able to recognize them and you will be able to use the same method that you are using now. So invariably, we will still be touching those questions, and when I touch them, you'll be able to, they will remind you of the tips I just gave you today. So, if you have not subscribed to my channel, before you go, click on the subscribe channel and like. Also share the video with your friends that are struggling with IELTS. This is IELTS reading module made easy. I will still be going into other modules of the IELTS, the writing especially. And whenever I drop a video, if you subscribe, just click on subscribe. It doesn't cost you anything. It's just to alert you whenever I drop a video, just to alert you. So that is it. Click on the subscribe, click on the bell, and then you'll be alerted when I drop a new video. Thank you very much for listening to this. And when you do the assignment, you can drop it in your answers in the comment section. If you have any question as well, you can drop it in the comment section, and I will be answering them. I'll be answering them. Thank you very much, and do have a nice day.